She hit 75 today, my mom. Mm-hmm. So there we go.
I gotta check the YouTube. I gotta check the YouTube.
No, check it from your phone. That way you can keep this always on. Just go to my wall, make sure you can hear it and mic check. Pamela. Yeah, my wife, yeah.
Well.
You already know. Oh, yeah. Y'all go way back here in Black Sock. You know, you remember? She ain't been here in a year, so.
Longer than that. I was back in with the shoot. Dorothy and, I go way.
Okay. Man, I went to that Trinity Church.
Oh, yeah, I did get on those.
Folk off the chain.
Oh, yeah. Floyd. Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah, how many minutes we got? So, you gonna be videos. We got it.
In the audio.
Excellent.
We're still on the radio. But more and more, I don't know. Pregnant there should be enough.
Where you gotta go?
So you have
Support, you got a little, your male mentor, right?
the basketball game tomorrow, they have a kickoff banquet tonight at Eastern.
This college?
No, Africa playing against America.
It's like, who's the lead?
We just.
So Sonny Parker. Liberation for women.
I like that, we want to be hyping that up. Like, yeah.
Promoting
Yeah.
assistance to the family.
Need to have it.
Right.
I need to have that.
He said, we was praying too much, he wanted actions here.
Yeah. It was at midnight. It was out there.
Some women that were praying in different areas and making sure that the assistance we gave to the families having had tragedy, that was consistent. You know, Sally's gonna show up and this is the food I have. We had some elaborate arrangements with different restaurants and catering services. And we could really take the family some. And we started getting some ministers together. That's when he said, y'all praying. Families needed, at that time, you know, stuff was happening in the street. And we just didn't know what to do with that grief. You know, we just saw Johnny get shot. And so the counselors were coming out of the care. Pastor counselors coming. Assist people. Kind of processing this and could move on.
We got 1 minute. All right, you can bring it closer, until the crowd, if more people come.
No, yeah, no.
Cause I'm gonna space here, I'm gonna still see the thing. Now, bring it now, so that way people can see it. When people come, you go right back there.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a heavy hitter,
I can only read a few pages at a
You know,
time.
yeah.
Process it.
oh, my God. That's deep.
Very enlightened black leader.
Well, they so far behind, they don't even know how to use their phone, so we was devastated to get to them.
But everybody, and you know, one of my things was fear. Everyone to get in there and
You good.
Just take over.
Yeah, the AI technology summit at Group last month, I pulled together all the guys. I call it Wakanda, and I call it GI, God's intelligence, than other people. But we'll figure it out.
We got it.
Man, yeah, that, as you go through, feed me some information. You
I want somebody to read it.
get trauma by yourself, trauma me. My brain going to
What book is it?
my brain be going through the book.
Henry Kissinger.
That's hot.
Oh, man.
Brian, I feel like it's not getting, how do it look?
He gonna do a book circle. He gonna read it for us. And then he gonna come back.
I don't know, we finna
That's
get
my
started.
old kind of stuff.
We, you wanna come over? Yeah, and then, if you don't mind, open with prayer, we can get started. And then, we facing the camera, y'all, cause we live. We know,
What should the camera be?
Yeah, what you want?
Yeah.
We good right here on the shop?
right here, yeah.
we good.
All right, so we're gonna start with prayer, so.
Dear Heavenly Father and Mother God, for those of us who can't really see the key in it, but know that we are all one people. We believe that good prevails in the lives and affairs of all of us. We just thank you for this gathering today. People who want to be of service, who want to help. And praise God for the National Block Club University. It's my guideline to the way our communities across the world can be together. Amen.
Amen.
Just thank the ancestors,
Bring them in the room.
the ancestors. Who space we.
Whoa, so many ancestors, but right here, this was Philip Jackson, an ancestor who showed us there is power in our uniting and bringing our young Black men together. I loved his educator die. You need that in your life.
I just want to add that on this day, this weekend, we're celebrating the city all over, thanks to Congressman Danny Davis, recognized this as African Liberation Day here. And all over the city, so if you see those numbers together, it's the weekend, they do a barbecue, they do a family reunion. So, but we must keep the movement going, historical content, but I want to recognize Brother Philip, and why this week is so important to tap into our ancestors. As you know, the Block Club University model is connect all the way to home. So this is African Liberation Weekend. We have an African Liberation meeting.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was just next door when they had the economics, they was talking about Dr. Phillips, and they talking about how he was focused on economics. And I didn't tell them, but Dr. Phil used to drive from here all the way to the store we had on 55th and Horn, which is by Damon. And he used to come on Sundays after church and spend $100. Even though we make $100 a day, we would come to spend $100
Oh, wow.
every weekend, just to support. And I just thought that was a powerful piece as an elder Black man. Commitment. I felt guilty. And he's the reason we did the petition, because it was that was like the main thing he needed. So we're like, we just gonna keep that part going. So thank y'all. We have our YouTube community is gonna be documented. I'm gonna read the agenda so y'all kind of know where we're going with this, and then we'll go into introductions. So 3 o'clock to 3:05 is roll call, 3:10 to 3:15, we go offer good news. We'll go into Mississippi at 3:15 to 3:20. From 3:20 to 3:25, we're gonna talk about the violence. 3:25 to 3:30, missing persons. 3:35, we go talk about economics. 3:40, we're gonna go through the the spending of money, Black people. So Reba, I know you got some on that. 3:45, ideally will be Travis with taxes, because we think that's a problem when we talk about keeping more of our money. Construction, 3:50, the name your 4 at 3:55, 4 o'clock education. We in the House of Education, 4:05 awards and the teachers, 4:10 health, 4:15 food, 4:20 policy, report cards on the politicians, 4:25 laws that's on the books that we need to look at, 4:30 voter registration, 4:40 open session, G20 at 4:45, Gary Conventions 450 close out 455 with next month's which is going to be in Inglewood, June 28th. And then we'll thank everybody for coming. All right. So that's the format, the agenda. I'm your host, Cy Smith. 46402 is my zip code. And before I leave this earth, I want to see Black people loving each other, supporting each other, doing business with each other while traveling back and forth between here and the continent as if it's not a big deal. Like every day they're getting it in. All right, Jamaica.
Jamaica, 46402, before I leave this earth, I would love to see our people living more in a creative state of mind. With Bible.
Checkmate.
Good. Well, I just leave it open for me. Before I leave this earth, I would love foremost to see my family get it going. Because we have so much talent, so many gifts, but nobody has made it over the top. If I could get that done, I'd be very, very happy.
Your mom as an ancestor, she loved what we do. Doris Reddick loved this concept, the whole piece. So we in her backyard this month, 60653. So kudos to you, you standing in the gap.
Open so.
You here? There you go. Reven, you got it?
Reven Fellows 60637. And there's a rap song out by the young people called We Started on the Top, Now We're Here. But I'm saying that I want to see us back in our rightful place. We started on the top. Now we got to be where we're supposed to be. And the bottom that we have been is going to be, we're going to be the first. So before I leave or see on the planet, that we get back in our rightful place as the original people, the spiritual people that taught civilization and taught the world, and we are the kings and queens.
Come on.
Special people.
Come on, we
Paul
got
Anderson said.
Well, you know, the Bible says I'm looking for peculiar people. And ain't nobody more peculiar than us.
come on. We're the soul of the world. You better recognize it. So now, the roll call is this. I did something different this summit. You have in front of you the color-coded, color document with the pictures. So we put a visual, put a face to it.
We got a whole lot of money because that.
Now, this is what we had before. Nah, look at that improvement. Y'all see the improvement? Yeah, that's the improvement, y'all. This to pictorials. You got it.
Come on board, we need that dollar.
So that's it. The copies cost. So yeah. So we go through. I want to just give an update. The purpose of the summit is so that we can do a couple of things. The first thing is we can make sure we're physically giving an opportunity for us to come together. Because too often people say, "Man, y'all all over the place. When do y'all take time out and get all together?" That's the purpose. And because we rotated to different neighborhoods every single month, that gives people who may not have transportation a chance to pop in, be in your zip code, be in your area. And so literally we on a 12-month rotation around the city, giving people a chance to come when we're in their neck of the woods. We do the roll call because no matter if we're physically here or not, we can tell you what's been happening in the zip code, our 20 zip code. So that's what we want to do now. I'm gonna go around the roll call. And then I'm gonna tell you guys what I got records on that what took place. So if you look at this document here, all right. So I'm gonna start all the way to where Gary is because we can go full circle around. So it's all the way on the left in blue. So that's 60653 zip code Bronzeville. That's where we are now. And in this zip code, we have the founder of Crab Pookie Crack Cakes. Y'all heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Doug Simmons. So y'all see his name that we don't have his picture in there, but he is very brand new to this concept. He should be hosting, he should be here, but I know he got to run the business there. So we understand that we support you guys going down there. Where is it at?
47, right out.
Not Cottage Road?
No.
Mission.
It's right there, right by the shoe shine place. You got gas station. Right there, you got the gas station.
Yeah.
Come back. You
Okay.
got that little gas station across from the sipping.
Mhm.
So you go on that side, go 2 doors, it's Pookie Crack Cake.
And that's by Brother Mandine Muhammad too, Legacy Apparel, right?
I'm not familiar with his location, but if you know that BP, it's Amoco on the corner from Sip and Save the coffee shop.
Mhm.
So you go south, that block, then go back east, You got a store in the corner, and then you got Poopy Crack Case. And the line is long. They sold out by 2:00. So if you don't get there, you're out of crack. Well, you know,
I know, right? Yeah.
sugar can be like crack sometimes. But you know, a lot of times you need buzzwords to bring people.
Right.
And then you bring them in, everybody got a different thing. But see, one thing we do with the block club, we catch them in that Soul Train line, get that, and get the address. That's the zip code, that's the zip code.
That's it. That's
Before you give all the crack cake money away.
But you get to name them as one of your 4 blacks, so that's
Oh,
important.
yes, yes. All right, then five.
Now, what I will say with the roll call this month, we do need to get more people involved. This zip code is one of our more weaker zip codes. When your mom was living, I used to make certain when we would go over there on, was that 39? What,
Yeah. 41st.
41st, right? Because I actually helped,
School.
yep, the senior building, when I left seeing your mom one time, Reverend Jesse Jackson was getting in his van, and I helped him get in the van. So this zip code is legendary, and we want to get more people involved in the zip code here.
It's one of our more
Big time.
financially, and Lamont Robinson making some real stuff happen financially here. And down them, they working.
And unfortunately, this zip code, and we can go all the way to 60652, 79th and Western, the more money or prominence, unfortunately, the less activism we see. I hate to say that. The more prominence, it seems like they, I don't
Shy
know.
away from it.
I don't know. We just don't see it. So, all right, then we got Washington Park, 60615. That's Governor Joe Merles. He should be here. 60652, we talked about already. That's Brittany Corner. That's her picture there. She's 79th and Western, that area there. She's a nurse. We had her since she was 15. Think she's working, so she won't be here. Then we have Erica Dunn, Chatham. Chatham is another one of our more middle class. That zip code where she is the highest lottery playing zip code on earth.
Really?
Been like that for almost 40 years. Ain't nobody else playing lottery like Americans. So yeah. Then 60617 is Calumet Heights. That zip code is like Stony Island, 87th, that area there. That's we have our Superstar Barnes there. Then we have South Shore. South Shore is going through a whole lot with the Obama Museum going over there. So that's Rachel Lindsay. It's ironic. We saw Rachel Lindsay, Navy Pier, Navy Pier. Hey, man, it's copied. Yeah. We on Mother's Day. I surprised Mimi and took her to Navy Pier, the Sophie Hotel.
Okay.
Stable Hotel. And we late getting pizza, and guess what we see? Governor Rachel and her family. Navy Pier that night. Yep, they came.
Wow.
So that was
I
cool.
also want to add too that 87th Street in that area, Brother Al Ryder, you know, he's part owner of that Kenwood Liquor Store.
Yes.
I think he's got a partnership with that liquor store. So we don't promote liquor, but if you buy some from Black people.
And we even connected us, so we got his contact information, and we definitely want to connect because our liquor store is a link to our first grade report, so we want to get that link there. And Superstar Rady just came in. He's from zip code we talked about, so this roll call we're going through now. 60644 zip code of South Austin. They just had a big event today over there with the mayor was out there reading South Austin neighborhood. I think what's his name? Sankofa was running it. That's who did that over there. Then we got Roseland next to them. We're going around in the circle, you guys, the roll call. Charles Robinson is our leader for that area. He'll be here at 4 o'clock. 60612 is East Garfield Park. Reuben always highlights this, and I gotta tell y'all, that's the largest health industry in America, right?
Medical district.
60612. East Garfield Park, Rush.
Yeah. So that's actually get connected Mile Square, and then you got but that is Congressman Davis. It's the largest medical district in the United States.
Wow.
All expert hospitals. But the unfortunate thing is the life expectancy with all of those hospitals on the west side, they in trouble. But that is a big district and it's an economic district where we should be actually getting the ads, the contracts,
Yeah.
and definitely things steered to our way. And Congressman Danny Davis, his background is in healthcare and teaching.
Yeah, it's some opportunity there. Huh?
Dennis Deere.
Oh, yeah, he's chairman that,
Well, his,
like especially racism center. Yeah.
what's her name? The elder? She passed away. Her son took over, then he passed away.
Smith.
No. You know him. Tall guy.
Still.
That's it. There you go.
Yeah,
There you go. That's
yeah,
it.
still, and then you got Barry Moore, but that son that played basketball.
Oh, just big time.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so yeah.
So that zip code is, we got some real legacy in 60612
Yeah,
over
we
there.
got track Alderman Monique down, we're gonna get to her some point.
Ben, it's right there on the book there. Then we going over to West Inglewood. West Inglewood. I hate to get this report. West Inglewood is being taken over. That zip code, we lost a lot of Black families in that zip code. The Hispanic community has grown tremendously. And that zip code, that's one of the most vulnerable zip codes because it was right next to where the Hispanics were strong at 47. It just came up. And like I always say for the record, it's nothing wrong with you wanting your community to be strong and vibrant. And so if it's vacant and people can move in, that's a problem. So we want it to be strong and vibrant, all of our neighborhoods.
Just reading
Mhm.
recently how they can come into those communities and they select communities with little law enforcement, there's little business competition, and who's really checking? I could do pretty much what I want.
And that's worldwide.
And they're not scared of the violence we experience as Black people. It's like, ain't nobody, and they,
The Arab community know, over from the Middle East, when you go into America, you can go into these vulnerable communities, that's what they call it, but we know the Black community, we know what it really is, right? Because you're gonna meet less resistance.
yeah.
They too busy looking at each other instead of focusing on the bigger picture.
Sad.
So West Inglewood, that's the update. Now Washington Heights, that's really part of what I was saying, but the more affluent the community is, the less participation we see. Washington Heights, we have a real hard time over that. We've been like that for 30 years, 60643. That's been one of the toughest zip codes. That's Beverly, that's 95th, that's all the way western. A lot of police officers, black firefighters, over there, they don't like to go with us.
Yeah,
But it's about Black upliftment, you would hope.
and they got quite a. Yeah, they over there, yeah. Yeah,
So-
well, you know, Mr. Gardner stepped in the concrete that set it off, and we not had one since.
Yep,
We
you're
brought the
right.
whole world to 95th
Yep,
with
yep.
him.
They was not happy, and that's the Irish up the street from them.
Mr. Montgomery.
So Stephen Starks is our leader there. Then we have 60624, that's Garfield Park. That's another zip code. We lost a lot of Black people in that zip code. That's led by Sandra Brinson. That zip code, just to give y'all a number, we lost 3,000 people there in that zip code, mostly Black people.
The reason,
In a season, 10 years.
What's the name? What's the, give me names.
Garfield Park?
Uh,
Dome,
Well,
Golden Dome?
oh, yeah. Well, that's because the hospital coming up, going all the way to Maywood. It's a gentrification move.
Big
So
time.
that squeeze over Pilsen Village. And then if you get in that pocket right there, like you said, other ethnic groups come, they not scared.
Not
We get
scared.
scared, we move out. And so people are scared to shoot and also a lot of opioid in that whole.
Big time. That's a big part.
So they locking up out of there. Yeah, so.
And the other thing with that zip code, in particular, they remodeled the conservatory. Now that place was like the windows were so foggy and stained when we was there back 20, 30 years ago. They redid it and now you got white people over there just having having all types of festivals, events.
Tuxedo suit party, champagne party.
And our oldest daughter, she a runner. She be with the bougie people. They be running over there. And I'm like, that's not what we did back in the day. You didn't run over there. Well, you ran. You was running to get away. You went jogging. So. Then we got Marquette Park. That's led by Governor Deborah Price. She will be here. Dr. King said he never seen racism like he saw in Marquette Park in all his travels around the world. So that says something. In Marquette Park. So that's the only zip code with 100,000 people in Chicago. So they are packed, and most of them are not us.
Park is a big draw.
It's a big one. Yeah,
It's well,
well, it's three communities. It's Gage Park,
Yeah,
it's Chicago Line, and it's Marquette Park. That's how big the zip code is. 108,000 people in that one zip code. Yeah, only 15% now black, 76% Hispanic.
So they glad now can go.
Well, and that should have been. It shouldn't have been. How you got white guys controlling a Hispanic?
already-
politically, it's not.
Yeah, yeah. All right, North Lawndale, led by Eric Strickland. That's 16th Street, Trumbull, K-Town, all that area there. We had Dr. Vessel, who did an awesome job for us from North Lawndale at the Women's Convention. We get to that point, Reeve, you can talk about that. Then we have 60609 zip code. That's New City. We lost New City, y'all. By next census, this will be a wrap. I hate to give us that bad news.
New center though, don't they? They rebuilt a new center side, a new city, they better,
Is it black people over there?
no, I'm saying that, you know, the new city though, but they.
Oh, the title, yeah.
Put it, oh, wow.
Now, we 21% over there now, 21%, and we lost just 1,300 people, but that already was theirs. You know what I mean? Because that's 47, that was already. Yeah.
I want to throw it in too, that has been solidified in position, because the Canada seats, you told me you will find many of those on the, not only Illinois Canada side, but the global thing, they were the most
Right.
great operators,
Right,
and
right.
they open up little, we'll talk about that later.
But where at? I don't remember seeing that, where?
Yeah, they're over there in New City, 47.
On the black side, like state or across the expressway?
Right, on Lake Street, right? On
Yeah.
the lake, that corner of our lake, because you got that kitchen where they doing, they pay the dollar, and you go in there and do your, food.
What y'all talking about?
I'm talking about Kersey and,
No, we talking New City. New City is 47 State Street. That's to Mason.
47 State.
Yeah.
About the new
Yeah,
city.
Winston, right.
I was over New City.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Okay. Hey, brother, how you doing, Chief?
Alright.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so you
Okay,
got
I got
anything
you.
for New City? Cause that they,
So
they got
47
that.
State?
That's the black
It's
side.
it's from like Halsted on back to West.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then
But
it goes
47?
like 40, maybe
Okay.
43rd to like 51st.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Actually 54. Right before you get to 54. That's what
Okay, yeah.
So they almost matched with back of the yard.
Yeah, that's why they dominate. That's why
Okay.
they.
So now 40, give me 43rd and State side, what's that? That's the.
That's their 09.
Okay, so that's same zip code?
Wait,
But so what you just said is New City, how far
state.
east it come?
Yeah.
40 something?
State.
So, we're about to buy a major project over there, $100 million project, Black Home, so I'll tell you more about it.
Well,
But we about to do something like this, so at least we have a little stake in the ground, and then that's, what about the sausage place, the Park House? I'm too far down?
where is that?
That's Bronzeville.
Okay.
That's
40 West
It's
State,
on this side of the
that's
state.
42nd estate,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 42nd estate, yeah, 42nd estate,
45th?
Park House sausage.
So that's still 09. Or
Yeah, you said 45th, right. Okay, I got you.
Started at 51st.
Yeah.
And then it goes to 55th.
So,
Well, we doing a medical report, we gotta be talking about it. Go ahead.
next we got, Inglewood, 60621 zip code to be precise. So that's east of Racine all the way over, and then from 55th to 74th Street. We got superstar, Asia Butler now, they're holding it down. They're trying to get people to buy homes and stay there. So they're doing a major stay in your home type switch over there.
That concludes 63rd side.
Oh, yeah, and that's where next month's Penny's Africa is and our summit. So yeah, go
So
ahead.
let me get it. So, Morgan, under the ashes on 63rd, between Ray and Sister Cheryl, her family, and the grocery.
Cheryl Black?
Cheryl Black, they own all that down there. It's just a couple of new places for youth, the program. They own, when they had the COVID, they put their money together, so they bought 2.5 blocks. And they have the grocery store with the, it's a
So
compilation.
they took it from the Arabs.
Yeah.
So the Arabs, first the Arabs owned it before, that store right there on Morgan.
Right.
owned everything from, Morgan all the way back to Racine. There's another Arab that owned Racine all the way back to Asheville. But they had to make them give it up because they weren't building nothing. They made them give it up.
Sure? Like,
Yeah, I talked to-
that's.
But here's the muscle to them, is Rage. Rage was pushing that weight on them.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
back, cause they was pushing
Yeah.
development, they protesting the mayor. They, you know, they had a little groundswell who got together, so when they put that money together from the COVID, it kind of forced it, but like you say, they wasn't doing. But now the other brother got the place that's outdoor on, one block. Remember they tore down the big building from our reverend that had on 43rd, they had a place. So the brother, young brother
Yeah.
got that, and he has an outdoor.
Yeah, Woods.
Yeah, brother, yeah,
Yeah,
Woods.
Woods, yeah.
So it's a good footprint
Yeah.
from Ashland to Halsted, I think, that we can claim too. in
Well,
that space.
Denard Allison was gunned down in, Matson, and that was him. He was over there with Corey right there.
Oh, wow.
He was, taken out.
This
So I
might
condole-
be coming up the stairs, up the elevator,
Oh, wow.
Mike Perkins.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big major loss. That was Jay, Cross French best friend. So she called me when it happened. And I heard about that in Matson, that the murder that happened, because that's not typical out there in the suburb like that. Yeah, but he was with Corey Strong over there at 62nd and, Justine, right there at 63rd. So that's a big loss for us, in Inglewood. Next to Inglewood, we got North Austin. We pretty much don't have black people up there no more. North Austin is like Fullerton, North Avenue. The blacks are just clinging on North Avenue side. They ain't even going to 1800, they 1600 North, in Austin. But we got Daisy Neal, she's our leader over there for North Austin. We got Woodlawn, y'all see Woodlawn there, there's the governor right there, Claudette Reddick right here in the house, so 60637 zip code. And then I think with all the stuff happening over there, your zip code is on fire.
Yes, we are.
People,
They lighted it up. And Naomi got the little strip on Cottage, so she got her little part 64 for Cottage. And then.
who is that? Naomi?
Yeah, Black and Green. So
Black
she
and
got a little strip. Then she has the, Amy Chill Mobley House. And then she.
That's St. Lawrence,
Yeah,
64, St.
but she
Lawrence.
owns 5 lots over there, so she's still on that block and on that lot, so,
But it's still black though.
Yeah.
37 is still, we don't have,
okay, gotcha. Yeah.
if anything, you got the whites from the university, but it's.
Jennifer Mann.
Jennifer.
With her
Corey Brooks.
We got Crane with Corey going up this,
Yeah.
well, be right.
Now, but let me tell y'all, it's a black, business mecca that they don't even appreciate the right way. If you look at 63rd Street and King Drive to where Corey is, black laundromat, black, tailor, black, newspaper, black, like, they look, and you don't see them block the street off and celebrate black excellence. Like, we gotta
And-
push
and
that. That's a
that's
lot of black businesses.
So let me add to the laundromat, you got the garden, you got across the street, the, church place. Then you come on down further, the brother nation, so they got the laundromat, the health clinic.
See,
Then
that's
they
what I'm
got-
talking
they
about.
own the, Real Eats, and they just bought the Currency Channel. Yeah, brother Muhammad them over there with they round, not, is that same line right there? That light by the laundromat, but it's
Yeah, yeah, I'm talking
they got that whole strip, they got a nice strip down. No, you can come up to 67th Street and then go, yeah. So they got that on lock, and they trying to go all the way to Cottage Grove to buy. And then real quick, there's a new, give me 2 blocks past 67 and Cottage. So that's Evans, right? Going west, 67 and, Cottage Grove, with a cemetery.
Early.
No,
Evans,
you go that way, come back west.
Oh, you come back west.
Evans,
Evans, so go one more block.
Everhart,
Everhart, so Everhart, there's a brand new breakfast place right down the corner.
black on?
Yeah, black on, nice.
Wait, what block?
66, 67, no, not them. They down the street from me live, they 67 and, Everhart.
Oh, eat to live.
No.
The Muslim sister.
No,
Another one?
this is another brand new. So,
Okay.
brother, man, Ronnie been there.
Lives on Champlain.
Yeah, so if you come past, you got the gas station and you got Aldi's right there. So come back, it's the next block, we make a right, they got it painted yellow. It's a brand new breakfast place right there in the food section. But this is how we got to have an inventory.
But see, that's your zip code, it's on fire. And what,
So I got it.
a lot of stuff.
So ordinary people, I don't know, you guys are with Marcus and Do Clean, he's asked to take that 600 block east on 61st Street, which is just all boarded up and everything. and tear it down and build a company that employs, you know, people he can train to clean and do construction site removal.
Who is Mark?
I can't think of his
He
name,
black?
but yeah, he's got a business, been here a long time, property owner, he works with Woodlawn Restorative Justice, that's how I know.
Mm.
No, yeah, so your zip code,
Do you, zone fire? Do you talk to the people of Sunshine?
I'm a graduate.
Oh, okay.
what's up?
Sunshine, it's a business.
I'm a love
It's a business you can pay on 60, Street. It's a business where they help you get your business prepared, get money, get your back, like the 5% to get your back.
Why we ain't got a LinkedIn?
Pardon?
Why won't have a LinkedIn? Like, who's some of the players?
We're trying to, right now, it seems like their ministry part is pretty strong, and that's what's leading. Before it was the entrepreneurship program. It was kind of directly, had some dynamic people that were
Yeah.
moving business, and now moving, they want to feel like,
The spot right down city second, right front before the church is one.
oh yeah,
She's building that, she's doing that new development right down city.
I'm trying to get one in the house.
City six and roads.
Then,
That might be the hottest zip code in the city, because the guy who spoke at Philip Jackson's event, just Gloria's event, he started Streetwise, and now he got the laundromat. He
Right
bought the
there, you know,
laundromat
down
on the
there.
plaza. Right there on 65th, he bought the whole.
got the Uber's company right there too.
And what's his name?
I don't know his name. I know talking about the movie.
So he on that, and he used to be a street guy. But then if you pull down, what's the name? God, Black Wall Street, I think it's Clara. But she's on 60th. She's doing almost $1 billion development on 61st and King Drive, that corner where they got the vacant store on the northwest corner. She's doing a major development. She's a real estate developer, and she's part of the Sunshine. But then we've had 5 meetings that
Kimberly Sally.
right here, but we've had 4 meetings with Brother Knowles on the corner at the cross street from the place at the so they might be getting into the business thing because we've been meeting on there about 71st Street, so it's some more energy. But go ahead.
But I watched this. Are they connected?
Not really.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
talking about now.
look at all of what we just described.
Yeah.
In the whole zip code,
Coming up
how much
on
integration?
King
is
Drive.
there? Or
But
is it everyone silo?
That's what we always talk about right now, is that it's everybody's doing their thing.
But that's a powerful, look at what we just went through. That's the most out of all.
the big gorilla in the University of Chicago, so that's where we're trying to move around. It's a bookie man.
But 60612
606.
rival them though.
Yeah.
That university piece,
Right.
that give them some competition of it. You got Russ, you got
Now,
Scotia.
You got the
VA
bridges
hospital.
development coming down from Obama Library to Cottage Grove. And then
Yeah, that might.
D3 is rehabbing the library tied to the old bank. So all that's going on simultaneously. So it's hard to do it. And this other piece, now let it go. I'll digress, is they got the work. They have a summit in Woodlawn every Friday. Every Friday.
That was silo.
About economic development, business against the takeover. So with all them different things, like Blacks and Green, then we're throwing fried chicken dinners on Friday. And then you got University of Chicago doing their thing. And then you got University of Chicago tied to the library where they're doing that. So all these things are going simultaneously. And then the church is doing their own thing. Then Obama's doing his gentrification thing. So in the university part, which is a big corporation, so it's too many tentacles without no system navigator.
Well,
So that's gotta get stood.
because like Sunshine Family Ministries could take care of all the services for our youth in this whole zip code.
Yeah.
And they've got the capacity to do it. But everybody wants to work independently. The entrepreneurship program has almost turned all Hispanics. I don't think you heard this.
Over there in Woodlawn?
Yeah, I'm like,
But that's where they took the immigrants to put them in the school class work over there.
Yeah.
That was.
And then they on 64 King Drive. But the more of the story is that they connect them, the University of Chicago and the church and Obama Library, and then it keeps it fragmented because they keep having all these summits. You don't need that many summits and everybody in one spot, but there's 4 different people throwing summits. Chamber of Commerce throwing one, University of the annual report throwing one. So all that's almost like you got him for a position.
Well, it's what's happening in Africa. We got so many divisions, everyone doing their own thing that they never look and say, man, Almost
And
seen
you know
that.
what the designers,
Oh, wow.
those who are more professional, who have some stuff online, who got material you can hand out. And those are the bigger entities who got funding to produce 500 of these and have somebody film the show and save it for later. So people kind of go with that.
Yeah.
All right, so, next to Woodline is Auburn Gresham. That zip code got a lot going on too, but it's really like two groups that's running everything over there, my friend.
See,
I mean,
no, really, Carlos, that Auburn Gresham,
right?
yeah, Carlos Nelson, they kind of good grip because he grew over there, and then Alderman Moore, so that 1-2 punch kind of keeps you, and then with the Nation of Islam right there, it's a little strong arm, and they just can't push, because they got a lot of money from Lori to do that development.
But look at this.
And they got the Bears inside the building. They got the bank inside the building. But that's the new development. Put the people inside your house where you rent it, babe.
Now look at this though. Yesterday,
In a way.
42-year-old man, 38-year-old man shot 70th and Dana. That's that zip code at 4:30 in the afternoon. Shot in the head and the chest.
That's what's called, man. That's that be what we do well.
What's that?
What's his name?
That's a side preacher man.
No, but I'm talking about the pastor. What's the pastor's name? They pastor that we used to do stuff at the church for Black Walls, Black. No, with the African hat on. I was right by the CTA barn. Pastor,
Oh yeah.
That's his church right there. He over there.
Yeah.
He on 76, 75th.
Gay Chisholm is his wife.
That's it, Mr. Chisholm. Yeah. Chisholm. Right across the bus farm. And all that side preaching them used to do the Black Business Network. I did, but what and I'm gonna say is why this is so needed. You see, I'm naming stuff that popped up. And without our own inventory, we don't know where nobody to support them. And then you can't organize if you don't know who they moved in and catch it before they came.
And keep in mind, this is the third largest city in America. So what we're doing is only two other cities that can do it bigger than just by sheer volume, LA and New York. So what we going through, other places too small to go through that, you know. But the thing I want to say about Aubrey Gresham, Pam Dominguez is our lead over there. She's highly connected with Carlos.
But see, when I say we did a lot of control, I was there about this, and we helped create the quality of life plan. So if you're at the table with most of our community leaders, and they had everybody, young people. So if you got to see the table like that, it's hard for this organization really, and Carlos not no pushover. So I appreciate that.
And you got the relationship, same book.
Yeah.
You got them.
Okay, gotcha.
Then the last one we have is Humboldt Park. We holding on over there, but the Hispanic community is right there anyway. You know, that's Chicago Avenue, that's the division. But we hanging in there, and they really clean the drugs up over there. It used to be drug heaven, Chicago Avenue. It's a little bit cleaner over there, and that's led by Cornita Jones. Her whole push, y'all see her, she always on fire about the pornography in the schools. And that's a. All right, so as y'all can see, as y'all look at this, that's Governor Joe. He just arrived, 60615. Y'all see that? Washington Park, that's the governor there. I call it the iced tea. Mike Ferguson in the house. But if we could now, y'all, and Brother Rashad, he's in the zip code. So this is a perfect example of like why we have it here. So the person who can pretty much walk here, he was able to walk here. See that? That's
okay.
Yeah.
That walk to work, live to work, breathe to work.
So
Skip to work.
if we could, y'all, I want to just go back to this because I put the professions on there and I wanted to really go through that. We always showed you guys this one, and that's a lot of writing. For this here now, if you go match a face to it, you know. Joe, if you don't mind, can you do your introduction? Because it's gonna match this. And y'all look at Joe's, it's 60615, Washington Park. It say BS1 above it. It's all the way on the left, and it's blue. Go ahead.
Governor Joe, 60615, connected to Bentonville, New Orleans, and Congo. Yeah,
Nah, that's cool.
Okay.
So look at what Joe just did. So I put the name of the neighborhood on that, but we really don't go by that because that can change every census. We go by zip code. So you heard me say 60615. That's predominantly what that name covers. And then you heard him say New Orleans, the travel. So this is what we got, y'all, in Black Chicago. We use Black Chicago to reconfigure the whole world. That's the truth.
Where you are.
The whole world has been reconfigured and it matches Chicago. So every zip code is linked to a different country in Africa. Every zip code is linked to a G20 member country, and that really took it global. Argentina is linked to 60615. And the purpose of that is because the G20 has been hurting Black people since they started. And we don't even know they exist for the most part. And so now by linking those 20 countries that meet every year, and their whole purpose of their meeting, the whole purpose is economics. That's why they meet. It's about the 20 richest economies in the world. And if the richest economies in the world meet talking about money, where are they getting the money from? Minerals and resources from Africa. They can't be rich if they don't get the diamonds, the gold, the cobalt. So what is the meeting about? How do we keep getting it? Getting that means they taking it at rape man prices from our people. So you can't, like, how could they argue that that's not the purpose of the meeting? They're not there talking about reparations. Nope. They've been meeting that for, they've been around for over 20-something years. So what is the meeting about? A continuation of what they've been doing, which is getting exploitative prices on everything that they have. So to match those 20 countries to the fact that we already had 20 zip codes was heavy. Like, that was a perfect match, like 20 to 20. So every zip code you see here have one of those G20 member countries attached to it. So we can monitor them. So we can pay attention to what they're doing. So you got Joe, he's in charge of all travel, the whole zip code. So when you see that red title there for any of the leaders here, that's what the whole zip code keeps the list up. That's deep. So you see 60617 of Calumet Heights, teachers, all teachers. Our sister, superstar Karen Barnes, that's her zip code. So with that, it lets us know that whatever person do professionally, we know where they information they're gonna go to, what zip code, when you see all those red professions right there.
So, with the G20, you think, it's gonna change with the young brother up in there now?
It's changing because they not, it's changing because the world is waking up, so he's a part of that, but you can only exploit so long, people waking up. So the good thing is we are in position. So it's changing and we're already in position to make sure that we can, how you turn the water on, and if you got something to direct the water, it'll just flow that way. That's how we, by us being organized the right way, when they start saying, we need to come together. Oh, I'm glad you said that. And here we go. You know what I mean? We can redirect it and show them how we've been doing this a long time. So it makes it easier to just flow. You don't have to create and just flow with it. So yeah, it's definitely changing. And we in position because we got years of showing that we've been in relationships with all those people there. And then you heard Joe say New Orleans. Now, why those cities matter, y'all? Because what's happening is happening in every Black neighborhood in America almost. You name it, the dysfunction, the shooting, the killing, the trap house. You go to every one of these cities, you can say where the hood at, and they can point it out to you. And we see it on the killing sheet. You know what I mean? So we able to see. So any organization, and we interact with these other cities, any organization, they can tell you all the things they're doing. We doing this, we fixing this, we feeding kids, and we just pull up the killing sheet for they city. So despite all the good stuff you're doing, we still haven't been able to address loss of life in our neighborhood. And it's because it's bigger than what they can do. They can do all they want to do. We up against a global structure that's ensuring that we stay going around in circles. Starting with the G20, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, all of these structures are designed so we keep doing this here. And that's why this is so important, because what this does, this say, all right, over here, you over here, you over here. You deal with this, you deal with this, you deal with this. Now we're getting organized so we can respond. If not, we all running around in circles, reacting to everything they're doing. Now we saying, nope, you got this, you got this, you got this. Tell us the pre, post, and and the aftermath of whatever the issue is. And with them titles, like you see detectives under Philadelphia, we got, the FBI said the most missing women in the world is Black women.
Yeah.
Well, what's the plan? Well, right here, this Erica, let's get with Erica who care about that, and let's get with Erica, see what we can do to turn that around. So what's the structure is the point. This tells us at least there's a set aside group that's gonna be concentrated on that one subject matter. The other piece, and this is gonna be a little confusing, but I want to make sure we put this out there. Can y'all tell when Joe meets? Like on there, do it tell you when they meet every month?
No, I don't.
It's on there.
Yeah.
I knew Claudette was gonna see it. It's on there.
Oh, yes.
Huh? Who want to take a shot at it? When New Orleans and Washington Park meet once a month? That's heavy, y'all. It's deep. Give me the
So
same
it'd be every Wednesday, fourth Wednesday of, which one you on?
One go up, one more. You right there.
Every first Saturday of the.
Come on, exactly.
Real less than 60 days with it. y'all. He a strategist though, so he on it. So y'all heard what he said though? So the first Saturday of the month. So you know you got your attention. You might call him all month long, but on that first Saturday, you got it. He might not call you back until that first Saturday. Now you got it, right? Now what that does, it gives us predictability. Like you can try them all 29 days a month, but you know that first Saturday you got it. You know what I mean? Because if nothing else, that's the commitment, is that first Saturday. So now that, well, let's go over. All of those numbers and alphabets around those chairs is when they meet, y'all. So we got the whole world right here and the time. So if you go underneath Joe, you got BW4. That's the fourth Wednesday of the month. That's when Bronzeville meet. If you notice, whenever I call you, it's only the fourth Wednesday. Like, I don't call you no other time. Now you call me whenever, but when I call you, it's in the system. You never knew that, did you? Claudette, you see, Claudette is BW1, first Wednesday of the month. Because this allows us, they shoot, kill me, guess what? First Wednesday is still Woodline Day. So it's bigger than a person with it. This is based on repetition. It keeps happening every 30 days, no matter what.
And I get so frightened that I haven't done enough of everything. Just show up.
It's gonna come again. It's gonna come again. It's gonna come again. Because more needs to be, like, is Milwaukee doing what you do? They're not. So you can only do so much. You can't be in Milwaukee for them. So it's a matter of the timing got to match. It got to be, unfortunately, some more tragedy in Milwaukee to where they say, you know what, we tried everything. I'm open now. Hate to say it, but a lot of people think they got it and they got to bump their head a few times, say, you know what, what else can be done? Okay, I'm glad you asked. Well, here we go. You know, and so now that y'all see that, you know when the teachers meet every month based on us. When you look at that second Saturday, you know when the lawyers meet. You know when the politicians meet from, or they get their report card from us when you look at GF2. So I wanted us to just spend time on this so y'all can see this gives you the keys to win, and you got the picture for who, and you got the what. You got three whats. You got the city what, the career what, and you know, in the neighborhood what. What do y'all think about that? This is all right here. That's why I made sure we got it in color.
Well, maybe anybody new, you might want to tell about those colors, the blue, green, and yellow.
Yep, perfect. The yellow is west side, y'all. Whenever you see yellow, that means west side. So all the west side zip codes is color coded yellow. In Africa, all the African countries link on the west side of Africa. So Ghana, that's west, that's linked to 60612. Senegal, west side of Africa, linked to North London. So that's the beauty of the colors. Once you know it, it matches. Blue is east side. So Zimbabwe is on the east side of Africa. Zimbabwe is linked to that zip code. So that's the purpose of the colors. It allows you to have a visual in terms of what side of town they're on and kind of what they're working on once you get used to it over and over and over again. And then with the other piece that's not on here is the suburb. Y'all heard Joe say Bensonville. Mentorville is a white zip code. It's a white town. So every one of these zip codes got a white town linked to it. This zip code here is linked to, Itasca. No, Itasca is 4-3. What's the zip code? No, I'm saying what white town that I'm linked to. I'll look it up. But every one of these zip codes linked to a white town. And the purpose of that white suburb is so any white people who's in that town that have an inkling of modern day abolitionists, we can bring them in and they'll fall right in line with that.
Okay, I'm lost with that. I don't see, each zip code is tied to a white town,
White suburb, yeah.
a white suburb, so I don't see them.
Yeah. Because Paulette get on me about putting too much information on stuff, so I call myself addressing the Paulette. It's on this document, Darrell. So you take this one.
I'm like, I don't see that.
There you go. Everybody else saying that, but that's what they call TMI. Because that got too much information on it. So yeah, go ahead.
The last week we had a different face in the middle. So when you're able to change up, I saw 2 or 3 different faces. When you're able to change up, how does that work?
Perfect. If y'all look, are we not mirroring this right now? 60653, 60615, 60617, 60628, 60637, 60637. We around the circle. I mean, circle, but put a table here, we're in the circle. So this is just making sure that when we sit down, we can discuss whatever's in the middle. You see what I'm saying? So we can put our pictures right here and it'll match this. We'll be missing some, but for the most part, this is what the city council do every Wednesday. But it's aldermen on there instead of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We discussing the whole black city, black Chicago. We ain't talking about the north side, but that's what the city council do. So yeah. So what I hope we can do with this, you guys, in the top left and right, you see it say existence up there, existence, because this exists already, y'all. Like you don't have to put nothing together. It exists. Each one of those look like germs. That's on purpose. Yeah, that's on purpose. You get to now that you got this paper, you get to walk around and infect people with a connection germ that's going to allow them to meet people that they care about. So what do I mean by that? Let's go to teachers, Brittany, because Sister Brittany is here from 60617 zip code. That code is BS3. So one of them germs that's color blue, one of them go be BS2. So if Rashad's daughter is saying, she said, I want to be a teacher, I'm going to say BS2. I'm going to give her that germ, and that germ tells her the second Saturday she can connect with Sister Barnes and all the teachers. She don't have to go looking for nobody. It's done already because Sister Barnes keeps the list of all the teachers for the whole school. So that existence is right now. You get to walk around wherever you go, listen to what they say profession-wise, and get on the journey because you literally got all 20 dates right around this circle. What do you think, Sister Red?
Oh,
So,
yeah, one of the reasons I wanted to make sure I came today too is because I need to manufacture.
this brother here, this is gonna be powerful because we get on his introduction. So yeah.
I'm working on it. So we are working with just different partners and information and schooling, manufacturing. Also with a brother, he does a lot of wholesaling, but he has access to a lot of different warehouses throughout the country. So even though we start off at manufacturing, we got to learn first to understand the rules to manufacturing, because manufacturing is way up here, just like construction. Before you start construction, you got to become an apprentice. So you have to start off as your wholesaling, then your distribution, then your manufacturing. So you just can't start with manufacturing because it's too expensive. So you got to start off with the low part first. And it's like an apprentice, you can't start from high point. So yes, we want to get into manufacturing, but that's long-term gain, right?
Someone's gonna get this. Let me tell you.
Yeah, she got an invention, so that's a different.
Okay.
working with two entities. State of Illinois has manufacturing point. So I don't, I'm not confident, well, I don't know enough about it, but I do know the process and it's not a hard thing to me. And so if I can make my straps here in Illinois, actually in Chicago on the south side, Chatham, I've talked to Albany in that area, they're willing to support me too, but I didn't want to go in it alone. I wanted to mentor someone that would work with me, help get the little factory set up. Also, we're going to do some 3D printing as well, and these create jobs in our community. So that's one. And I didn't want to, I was told originally that none of these things were still being made in the United States, but that's not true. I have found several entities that gave me a whole list of manufacturers throughout the United States. And there are people still making, this is the product here, but there are people that are still making these straps. So my thing is, if somebody's gonna give me a grant, make the strap on the south side of Chicago, employ some of my people, I want to take it. Same thing with these plastic mold injections, basically what it's used. So I need someone that knows plastic mold injection, so that we can get this money that is back. To give these young people some jobs.
So, yeah, you're right, exactly right. And, you can get into the manufacturing, but they require you, at least when you start going for grants, to have a mentorship. And we try to do the competition grant, right? They said you had to go into your community, how you gonna get engaged with the aldermen and things of that nature. But you had to get a mentorship from a manufacturer. So for us to go and build it, it was kind of like impossible. We had to go to a manufacturer, say, hey, could you give me mentorship? They gonna be like,
Why I wanna help you.
well, kind of what I'm saying? So the easiest format to get it is to get the mentorship or have years of service into it. The distribution, the wholesaling, right? I've been doing it for the last 10 years. I've been doing it the last 20 years. Right. Can I get that built? And then now you're able to get that manufacturing money because you have years of service doing.
You know David Robinson?
Yeah.
With the manufacturers Renaissance. And South Carolina, he was working with a lot of children. And it was and a lot of, and he's like one of the head guys, but so I get you this.
Did you bring that guy on the phone with me? He was real arrogant.
No, not David Robinson. He very humble.
No, he was a Jewish guy. He was bragging about what he.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, I did this and
No,
like
no,
and
no.
all that shit.
No,
I said, I don't know if you gonna work with him. He's just too hard to deal with. Go ahead.
Yeah, David Robinson.
Renaissance.
Yeah.
Manufacturing.
I know you gotta go, so go ahead.
For kind of, well, so this is African Liberation Country Day we did years ago. So this whole weekend, they're doing events, Trinity Church. They just had the president from Ghana of the Bank of Ghana. He was the man himself here. Getting over there, getting dual citizenship and getting into banks in less than 2 days. That's how they move. And so they try to NFL. So then there's a group that's playing against Sonny Parker, who has the pro-am tournament. They won a championship. Group coming out of Cameroon. The COMOR. Yes, that same that what it is. COMOROS. How you remember?
Cameroons.
Yeah, that's it. So that team is coming to play tomorrow at Malcolm X College against America State. So I'm on my way to the dinner for that because I'm part of the planning committee. So all this stuff we pulling together is coming to make sense this weekend. And so I'm headed down to that event. Then I'll be there tomorrow night. They'll be back at Trinity tomorrow for part 2. They do a breakout and so forth. But we'll be at Malcolm X College at 12 o'clock for the game for that. So that's a connection going on between.
You need to take this to them right there. You see them real African faces in all of the 20 countries.
Send that to me a text.
No, they ain't approved.
And we're gonna.
Yeah, I gotta get their approval.
With that being said, so Calvin, MLK, the brother Calvin Garrett, is one of the top manufacturing brothers, been in the game for years in Chicago. He was Greg Hodges. He got a grant for $1 million from Matty Hunter. He's doing manufacturing with about 25 students on 50 acres of Wentworth that teach them how to manufacture and sew
and they get $4,000 in the class when they graduate.
Who is this?
Calvin Garrett, he's the #1 stepper. He do the MLK thing on 51st Street, used to be with.
Are you connected with him?
Yeah,
We need
he
to.
right in Charlotte. He lived down the street too. So what happens
That's a great.
so yeah, but he got, so, but he didn't do all this, so he's with, Calvin Garrett, and, he's with Ada's F. McKennedy is his grade. So they got students right now that can show that. And then, this is so crazy, their students get $4,000 participating and get $1,000 swingers,
Swinger?
the sewing machine.
Oh, yeah, swingers.
It's six, whatever, they get a free graduation.
Oh, nice.
Then he's helping them become their own company manufacturer. So she's just giving them 2 grants. So we just get you with her. You don't have to go through all the red tape when the state rep got the $1 million.
Well, you need to get me in that too.
Yeah, we talked about that. We got that. But it's time with these people.
I know.
And change around, big, I'm
I know.
gonna get something. How you do? Like I got a low IQ when I got a high IQ. Take them up for the team.
Ain't that something, boy? You gotta dumb
But
yourself
I'm
down.
saying, kind of confirm, the meeting I was at today with, sitting there, I represent the Block Club, I represent National Black Agenda, and I told them, why y'all doing all that? We got National Black Club, we got National Black Club, we got everything y'all need to plug in. So they, I let them know that's what we are, who we are, but without what we're doing, everybody's all over the place, nobody's dissect, they sitting around figuring out how you go, they scared of the boogeyman in the White House. I tell you, if you're scared of the boogeyman, quit your church.
Get us that number together.
Yes.
I got you. And we, get the last report. The 104th anniversary of the first terrorist attack on America, Black Wall Street, it's gonna be the 31st next week. May 31st when they bomb. So I'm looking to do a event on Wall Street, honoring that situation, what happened, tragic, and then we're gonna give some rewards out, but we're gonna recognize that and we're gonna begin to resurrect Black Wall Street, which we already have 75th Street. But these are historical landmarks that you got to recognize on the paper to keep in mind for the ancestors. Quick question.
So what I know of the game, is it open? Or it's closed, it's gonna be closed in?
What's that?
Game you talking about?
Oh, no, it's free. So it's all free. So I'll send,
Yeah,
I'll
send
text you
put
today,
that out
and
there.
then I'll text you everybody's number, but it's tomorrow. Just register, come to Malcolm X, you get in free. And then the 9th is dentistry, but you know, I ain't got no secretary, I'm trying to multitask. I gotta get my hair perm, get my outfit, there's just too much going on. Oh, thanks, man, right, be there with that, okay. I'll send it to you in a minute, though, for tomorrow.
Okay.
And then I'll send you also for the event at Trinity. But I just wanna let you know that what side is the Most High has given him, it's for this time. I was at that meeting and the only activist there is me and the only person, and I told him I'm the plug, there's no. I'm out.
Be safe, man. It's excellent. So, yeah, Sister Grady, I'm glad you brought that up because that we should see ourselves as our own solution, our own resource. Everyone is connected to somebody. Once you put it out there, what you need, you'd be surprised who would come up with what they got. All right, so we've been joined. Let's do our introduction for our new people who came in. If y'all look at 60643, y'all see that's our leader right here, Governor Stephen Starks right there. He got Doctors Cleveland. Y'all see that Washington Heights on the far right? You see yourself on there? All right, cool. Governor Joe, we already went through Governor Joe. Now, Evan Credit, we go way, way back. Evan Credit, 60628. So, you know, that's Rosen out there. He's an education guru, so he's someone you definitely should connect with when it comes to our academics right here. And Mike Perkins is our financial guru out in the South Suburbs. And so anyone in the South Suburbs, we routed through Mike because the Black suburbs, which is the South Suburbs, we got them linked into Gary, Indiana. So that way they can help us with the conventions out of Gary. All right, so I think that's it, right?
That's the piece as far as Rick Van is concerned, what David Robinson doing, like he's connected with that council. And right now, they say it's $20 trillion and businesses that's turning over, they got $120 billion overall of wealth transfer. And so they said these businesses, and especially the businesses that's doing well, they're not struggling. They already got infrastructure in place. But the children do not want these businesses. All they want is the stocks, the bonds, and the money. They don't want to have anything to do with the business. If they have already manufacturing businesses that's up for sale, and they have mentors that come, they say they can. And they that right now, Black women are especially taking advantage of some of these manufacturing businesses that they.
So that's where's everybody?
Yeah, they all.
Just leave one.
But they just said that they up there, but everyone own these manufacturing companies, their children don't want them.
And I think that, because we got to talk about the violence, but then we getting on economics, so you already got us there. One of the things I think we got to be real mindful of when we say our children don't want the businesses.
Not our children, their children don't want them.
But our children don't. Like, we lost Cadillac grocery store because his children didn't want the Cadillac right across from old Kennedy King. And what I was proposing to him was, let's create the corporation so that you can control 90% of it, but you let us run it day to day, and 10% we sell it to the community. You still got 90% ownership. You're still yours. But at least we take over day-to-day operations because you bring in the younger energy into it. And because he was an elder, it didn't flow with him. It didn't sit his spirit right. And I think when he transitioned and the Arabs got it, and then of course they knocked all of it down for King. But the point is, that's a model that we should look at when the elders hold on to the business and the children don't want it. Like, let's create the corporation so the family can keep it as a legacy, but you don't run day to day no more. You let the younger generation do that, and we do that, so that way they earning money, but they also got 10% stake.
It's like license.
Stock, it's more like our version of stock. Yeah. So that's just something to think about when you said the children don't want it, because the younger generation not into a lot of what they grandparents and parents into. So that's a remedy for that. So let me read this real briefly. I was trying to get all the numbers pulled up, but we had 2 men shot. One was hit in the back of the head and then shot. The other one tried to intervene. They shot him in the stomach. That was on Jeffrey and 71st, 2:30 this morning.
Yeah.
I told you about 70th and Damon. That dispute led to 2 men getting shot, 142, 138. And right there with you, Evan, State Street and 111, 2 guys shot to death over some cheese. You heard about that?
Cheese.
You heard about that already? Cheese. At Monty's Grill, Mama's Grill. Is it Mama's Grill or Monty Grill? The address is 9 East 111. Y'all heard of that? Yeah. State Street. Right there. It's black owned though. Monty, that's not black. But the 34-year-old was killed and the 38-year-old was killed. What's sad about that was the mother allegedly called her son up there to deal with disrespect, and that's what ended up coming out of that. So that's what the news is reporting. But that happened 2 days ago. It was a 45-year-old man shot to death on the west side, 3800 West Augustus. That's zip code 44. But he was just walking 6:55 a.m. Now I'm not saying that we can't have non-blacks killing. But now when I look at the violence report, I gotta wonder, is that us? Because our community is no longer like it used to be. So on 63rd and Horn, when they killed the police officer, that's a black area, but that was a Hispanic guy that killed the female police officer. Remember that? Right under the viaduct. So this man walking, were those blacks that killed them or not? Not that it's better, but it gives you, because if we dealing with a race war, we need to have a head start on that. We know what our problems are. If it's gonna be somebody else doing it. But what do y'all think about that though?
Well, I work right there on 3300 Polk. Right down.
By home, yeah.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, it's primarily us over there. Like even on the residential streets, you may have 1 or 2 houses have Latinos in there. But for the most part, it's us. Now they come through there because it's a high school right up there. A lot of them go to, yeah. But I don't think a lot of them just live right there.
But I guess what I'm saying, if they start killing us, that's a different conversation. We used to us killing us. But if that, sorry, because the killing in Gage Park, that was the Trinidad Wagway gang, they say, and it killed them 5 people, that mass shooting that happened. But that was in their neighborhood, that was the Mexican neighborhood in the Trinidad, so they gotta worry about their Venezuelan versus Mexican issue over there. But to come in somebody else's neighborhood and kill them, that, you know,
Well,
that's different.
If I could say one thing, it's probably right now because of the ICE raids and stuff like that, they're not out in numbers like that. The
Right.
only challenge is that many of them are finding refuge in predominantly Black areas. This is going to bring ICE agents, because when they raid, they ain't no public notice, they, you know, they just come.
No, you can't.
So now they're hiding in our communities. Now we got all of these agents coming into our community and just bringing, you know, more of that presence that we don't need. Now, I know there was a shooting, a killing on 75th and Stony at the BP gas station just last week. I know the video is out.
What a girl.
Online. Yeah, the girl was in line.
That
Yeah,
was kind of running,
yeah.
and the man just came up and killed him.
Yeah, so from what it seemed to me though, they knew each other. And it was bigger than that. It wasn't, because when you saw the video, you just see him standing behind the young lady.
Exactly.
Now, if he's standing behind the young lady, her backside is right there, it's just in plain view.
But he asked her if she wanted to buy some weed too, so. That was
Yeah, but he got out the car with gun in hand. So in my opinion, he realized that was somebody that he knew. The girl, that's just all incidental, the girl being there. Because when he got out the car, gun was in hand, he walked up to him and tried to point it at his head first. And the guy kind of moved his hand, then he put the gun down to his side. And then kept talking for a second. And then he raised it back up again and shot him. And then once he on the ground, he shot him some more.
That it seemed like he was trying to talk to her, and the guy didn't approve, he got out and just killed him. That's how it looked.
But, cause see, to me, it seemed like the young lady would have got out the car, or at least would have been yelling at him like, cause it wasn't worth it. He got out the car with the gun. So in my opinion, this is
Well,
just
they got her as well.
deduction.
They said they're gonna.
I mean, because you saw him shoot him and you let him get in your car and pull off. Now, if she had just pulled off and left him there, then she wouldn't have been in the wrong. But yeah, once you saw him kill a guy.
Go crazy.
Yeah.
So especially for our people, first time being with us. So that's the reason we exist, is stopping the violence. And I hate to sound like this, but until we got the outside, inside, to me, no one is going to really stop this foolishness that's happening. What I mean by outside, inside, those cities you see next to all the governor's name, and this coming, just think about from a military standpoint. When you deploy troops into an area, you got better control over the area. When you got troops on the ground, locals are too tied in. That's my mama, that's her uncle, so when we got outsiders there, you can do things that locals got to worry about. They got to worry about retaliation. They got to worry about stuff like that. So, in that zip code, that's Miami. That's Little Miami. So when Miami is in town, Miami can do things in that environment so that we don't get to that point. When you get to the shooting point, you already missed it. The shooter came from a block somewhere. What block? The person that got hit came from a block. What block was that? And what could we have done 3 hours before that? You know what I'm saying? So if you like wind the clock back, what was his mindset? Oh man, I ain't doing nothing. I'm finna go drinking. I'm gonna go and just chill out. But guess what? We need you in Miami. Let's go. Now that shooter's on his way somewhere. He ain't shooting nobody today. He on his go. So that's why you see all those cities on there, because we need these outlets. Rich white people, when they kids off track, they send them, especially on drugs, they send them away for treatment.
Yeah.
They send them away. They go to these Colorado resorts and stuff like that. We just say, put the gun down. And then they're still in the same contaminated environment. So I just wanted to put that out there, especially for the people who may watch. That's our version of stopping the violence, is when we can do more on the prevention end and people are moving around, traveling, so they don't have time to sit around idle mind devil's workshop. Any thoughts on that? Anybody? All right, so let's switch on the economics. Our daughter, she put a flyer in front of y'all. It says, name your 4 Black businesses. It's 2 of them, y'all, but we only had 10 of the ones filled out. So every Wednesday is don't spend money with people who don't care about us day. It's that simple. Every Wednesday is by Black Day, Economic Day. If we hold true to that concept, that habit, at the end of the month, if we should be able to name 4 Black entrepreneurs or businesses that we personally, like my wife can't name my 4, she got to name her own 4. Like this is you being accountable to your people to keep money circulating. So this document here, the blank one, this is how you monitor yourself. Like this is the whole year. If you look on the left here, it has January to the end of the year. It's the whole year, January through December. And if you go horizontally across, it tells you the industry that we're saying, let's support the industry. And then you can say, forget that, I'm gonna support my own folk. That's perfectly fine. But some people say, well, I ain't know what to do. I ain't had nothing to buy. This answers that question right there. They don't know for that answers it right there, straight across. Y'all see that? And so if you look at May, y'all see the 4 this month for May. What we got to make sure everybody see?
84 lounges.
Yep. So buying the book from Bill Cartwright you put Bill Cartwright there. So you see that? So and the reason why this matters, you guys, is because of this document right here. So the next one, if you have it, everybody might not have it because we ain't have as many copies. It lists the people who's receiving the money. Now, y'all, who don't have it? Because I got 2 copies here, actually. Everybody got it? Okay. Yeah. All right. There you go. So what this is what you got?
That's the one with the names.
Yeah. Yeah. So what this is the actual what it looks like. Like one of our leaders, she put $250 up, and we just sent $5 to all these people on here. Because 5 times 48 businesses, that's 240. So anyway, this is you supporting 48 Black businesses for the year, which is 4 times 12 months. This is what it looks like right here. The amount we saying $5, it could be $1 if you're in the challenge at that moment. The key is spiritual. Are we sowing a seed into a Black risk taker? To run a business, it costs overhead, all of that. And y'all know the goal is to move in groups of 1,000. So imagine 1,000 people sending you $5. It's $5 to them. It's $5. But you getting 5K for nothing, just because we saying we support you. What do y'all think?
I like it. I feel my name get my here.
And that, I'm glad you said that. This should be different for every zip code. This should not be like it is now. This is because we don't have enough people for all these titles.
This is per zip code, right?
It should be.
So 60628
Mm-hmm.
for me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking for, well, right now we always have May sometimes. So
Yeah. Oh no, fill it in. You go back though. I'm waiting there. I'm saying do the whole year, man.
Yeah, Black gas station 60628.
Oh, heck yeah. Actually, the one we haven't verified it yet. Yeah.
28.
It's Jerry Peterson's. She had the Black gas station. Her husband had it anyway. She's now got the U-Haul trucks, but she said the person she sold it to is Black. We haven't verified it yet because even our brother George's Music Room, he has said that the liquor store was Black owned on 55th and Wentworth. And when we went and looked it up, it was the Muhammad. It was the Arab.
He was the face.
So he used to face that. Ice Cube came here and stood with him saying, yeah, supported Black business. Like, dude. When the numbers say something different down in City Hall. So we got to verify it, you know what I mean? And so that's what I would say to that. But to answer your point, it might be, it's either 60628 or 43. I heard it's 10 that we haven't verified.
But other than that, it's only one.
The one we know is Karen Gibson's Citgo gas station, 151 South Austin. That is guaranteed Black owned. They've been Black owned for 40 years.
90.
No, 151, 151st. It's in
Phoenix. Yeah.
It's Phoenix. That's guaranteed Black owned all day.
Now,
So,
now, what is the mission, or is that something we could begin to look at with the gasoline? That there's no Black owned gas station in city limits, because I just rode past a Black owned gas station, a closed down gas station on the west side, right at Western. And it's like right before you get to Jackson, something like that. But if you come off 290 and you start heading north, it's right there. It's a closed down, got an auto repair. Look like
Is that
auto repair.
California though?
No, that's Western.
Oh, it's
It's an auto repair place that's connected to it.
Okay.
But this is like, it's a basic needs business. That's why I've always felt like if we're gonna get into anything as a people, we first start going into basic needs businesses, because then you got
Basic
that
guarantees.
steady nickel
Right.
versus the fast dollar. And that's how in business, we should prefer a steady nickel versus the fast dollar.
I think I
That's
think I
great
had
talk. Yeah.
talk about side about this too,
Mm-hmm.
is that, you know, we stay in location, right? And the first thing we don't even think about economic development of our own city block. Okay, just our square block, if we just take away everything away, we just got one city block, that was our whole ecosystem. How we make our block work, right? And that was the thing, that our neighbors don't even know our neighbor. I could stay there 20 years and you'd be standing there and say, hey, how you doing? I see you 2 times out of the year, right? But if we think about this and we look at some of the basic needs that just that one block needs, it needs all of these services in just that one block you stay in,
Come on.
right?
Come on.
Right? There you go, right? So we looking at it, I don't want us to think too big, because sometimes we think overthink it. When he's built the system, well, we should be thinking more on a smaller level, but also a big level, right? So we take care of our home first, where we stay at, as basic needs. Think about basic needs, right? I go down to landscaper, right? Think about if you started on your block a landscaping program, just for everybody on the block, right? Instead of telling the Spanish guys coming doing his block, you got another guy over here. Hey, I'm the landscape on the block. I'm giving everybody a landscaping program where we give money back to our people, because they shop with me on landscaping. He might be doing, the next person might be doing basic tissue and soap on the block, right? Just a block, right? And then you replicate that from every block on there, and now you have what we call a community system, right? That's just a thought.
No, that's
Right?
the direction.
But we don't even, and the reason why we having these issues with our, as a community as a whole, because we don't even take, it can be a block club initiative, as he said, block club, basic.
Block, block, block.
Block, block. But we need to be taking formulation and saying, hey, on my block, what do my block?
Yeah.
And how can we help, right? How do I get that name, Miss Joe, who need daycare services? He might need some cleaning service. How can that person help out, right? And then we expand. Because if you do a block by block, now every block is accountable, because every block is an ecosystem. That block right there can change, make you $5,000 in landscape, and make him $5,000 doing construction. Because we got almost 30 houses on one block.
Now that's where Wednesday come in at though, Darrell, because like Philip, that's the legend right there.
Yeah.
Educate or die. His mantra. Y'all remember that? Educate or die. And the key with that is education is crucial. And that's why we said Tuesday is Education Day. That's because of Dr. Phil. He said every day, we said we gotta do what Darrell talking about too. So Wednesday we're gonna do the economics. So Phil, on Wednesday we're gonna be with Darrell on economics, get the whole block. But Tuesday, all of us with you, because globally is educated that.
Yep.
So that's the purpose of those 7 daily habits. So we can honor what, because Webb Evans said it's all about the economics. Like Webb Evans, 100 years old, died pushing economics. Wednesday. Kwesi Harris, Baba Kwesi Harris of Chicago State said, if you ain't healthy, you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Thursday. you see what I'm saying? So those habits allow us to honor each one of them areas that's important, but make sure that we giving time to it and we can be accountable. Because it's 4 Wednesdays a month. If you live,
It is.
if you can't name 4, that's on you. Like I said, my wife can't. She got 3. She got to pick one over here and then do it. She can't use mine. Because 8 out of the household, we got to have 8, between us. So this here is right now action. You can take action right now and catch up. All these people on here, I had to have a conversation with them in order to put the cash out there. And so each one of these professions are linked to 1 grade. All landscapers are linked to 4th grade. So when they get that $5 from 20 people, that's $100 when the fourth graders got a competition coming up and we need $50 award. It's a different conversation because you got that free money over here. You got this award over here, you know. All restaurants got third grade. So imagine when you go to eat, you know that money coming right back to the third grade. You can eat with a different amount of confidence now, yeah, because I know they ain't gonna use them third grade test scores to build the next prison. Just by me eating. You know what I'm saying? So imagine when every zip code got the restaurants in their zip code on board with this. Now your third graders got money. And as we doing this here, and that's what the next document we go look at. That's making sure the residents are putting money into the businesses putting money into the grades they're assigned to. So it's just a big cycle, y'all. It's just a big circle. So I wanted y'all to have that blank one so y'all can start personally filling it in. That's personal accountability, right there.
I'm free to, maybe I don't use the same, because I'm gonna do something else that the gap on be, put that.
Government call that. We do not control. That's one thing, Darrell. You heard me say, we do not control nothing. It's your world. This is guidelines. This is direction. You can go a different direction. Yeah. But the benefit of sticking to this direction is you got more people pushing the same message. So for instance, you can say, I'm doing Tuesday as economic day. Then when you call Joe like, I ain't doing that, I'm doing education. So you just took yourself from underneath the umbrella, now you're getting wet. So that's the only, it's a guidance, but just know it's a lot of people worldwide supporting this guidance. So that's what I would say to that. Now, if y'all look at now we get into the meat of this. The next document you have is stapled together on purpose. All right, so this is why this matters, y'all. This is why we here. It say be clear, right? This is what Black people going through right here. Let's just start at the bottom. We just talked about that. The killing. There are music executives that's normalizing Black death. They sit around the table, no, be gangster, talk about shooting to kill, you know, what you gonna say?
Well, I was with one of the young guys who rapped, and he went so far as New York. Come to find out, he said the reason that the Black young men were dying because they was taking out insurance policy.
Oh, big time.
So they set him up, with a woman that looked like a man after they gave him this drink. Bring a woman in that looked like a man. They didn't show him the tape the next day. They didn't have him sign a contract. Under that contract, he got $2 to $5 million if he leaves it. So when they die, they are collected because they gave him, you know what I mean?
Joe, they've been doing that ever since Public Enemy and when rap was us, Public Enemy, KRS-One, we ain't had that problem. It was when the light bulb went off on them. We must contaminate this powerful platform, and that's when, of course, they go assure the investment. Oh yeah, so that got to be 50 years of insurance. So all them stars getting killed, they cashed out, and we should make sure that the cash got to go to the family in the zip code instead of enriching Clive Davis and them people. So yeah, so no, but we know violence is profitable. So y'all see Monday, their safety day, over policing. So government terrorism is, y'all see what I put there, eminent domain, taking your property. That's how they get these lakes like Lake Lanier in Georgia. They took that land. Central Park, they took that land in New York. Red light cameras, Denver Boot, closing the schools, mental health, money for the prison, then the no-father welfare system. All of that, to me, is the government terrorism. But government, you miss one pothole, you will catch the next one, because they got them laid out everywhere for you. The schools and prison pipeline. Core Civic is the new name, but it's the same ones that had the, I forgot their name, they called themselves before, but they changed it to Core Civic because it sounds better now, but it's a private prison, for-profit prison. And GEO is still their same name, but these people making money off of that. And they loaning our prisoners to other states. Wyoming is a state where they loan prisoners from Wisconsin out there. So think about slavery. Like, is it not the same? Like you get, I need 30 of them, send me 20 of them. All right.
That's not a part of the federal prison system?
No, this private. No, these people for profit. No, these are profiteers. Y'all, the economic attacks, the food poisoning, this is what we under. Elderly attacks, teens in disarray. So all of this stuff you see here, think about the 7-day deliverance. See how that allows us to not be overwhelmed? We got the violence issue Monday. We got the school, the children in the school pipeline Tuesday. Economic attacks Wednesday. Food poisoning Thursday. That's the benefit of something that keeps on repeating. Now, you could do it every day, of course, but we saying collectively, corporately, all over the world, we pushing the same narrative so we can address these attacks that's happening to us all the time. Any thoughts on that, you guys?
I like it.
Now, this next page gets into who we up against, and this is stuff that the average person ain't got time to be thinking about this, y'all. So this is a gift, right? NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, 1949. Y'all know after World War II, that's when they shifted the whole world structure so that they can have the empire they got now. So a lot of stuff you're gonna see in the 40s and stuff. That's when they created Israel, because they was gonna put Israel in back Congo, but they said, no, let's put it over there. This is in the 1940s. So I want to make sure we know NATO exists to counter Russia. It's the purpose in it. It's the European Union to come together so they can counter Russia. All right, 1949 they kicked off. So that has no interest in us as a people. That's a white thing between Europe, Western Europe, and Eastern Europe. But what's happening with Ukraine? The reason Russia is having a problem with that because they want Ukraine to join NATO. Now that's gonna be all them against Russia if that happens.
If you look at a map, if once Ukraine joins Russia, Russia's boxed in.
Mhm.
In Article 5, you always hear, if you attack one NATO country, it's like attacking everybody.
Right.
So they're boxed in, and if he thinks about crossing everybody, like you in a fight, when you hit one person and all of a sudden the whole gang jump.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
And I would say this too. God put uranium in Russia and in Africa. Those are two places uranium. Uranium is the nuclear bomb. That's why they got more nukes than anyone in the world, because it's in their land. You know what I mean? So America nukes came from Congo. Like that's where they got the material at here. So just know NATO is not our ally. It's just that's the purpose of them being on here. They ain't talking about reparations. All right. IMF is like a pawn shop. International Monetary Fund, 1944. They've been setting Africa up for loans and making them change policies. You must accept this, this, and this. IMF have been a major thorn in the side of our brothers in Africa and our brothers in South America too. They are not our ally. They're not talking about reparations. World Trade Organization, same thing. But the way they control us, they say in South Africa, you can't bring your farm products to America, and our farmers here can. So even though they're growing stuff, they can't get it onto the world market because you won't let us exploit you. So again, they are not an ally to us. The World Bank, they the same as IMF. Those are two white friends, two executives in DC. All this stuff is led in DC. And those two people in DC, they agreed to make sure if you don't get them, I get them. You see what I'm saying? But exploiting them. 39 people died in Kenya last year because IMF said that they told the president, Ruto, must raise prices on everything in order to keep getting this interest rate. And so he did it, and the people rebelled, and 39 people died in the rebellion. But that's how they got us, y'all. Again, stuff like that. All right, then the G7. This has been the most dangerous for us right there, y'all. G7. That's elite. All right, Mike. So the G7 is all Europe countries. G20 is window dressing. So G7 was too racial because it was all European countries. The same one that met in 1881 in the Berlin Conference when they divided Africa up. That's who the G7 is, but that was too exposing to them. So y'all see 1999, they said, let's loop in some other people because this looked too white. So that's when they brought in Argentina, they brought in Mexico, because they had to, it just looked too bad, the G7. But the G7 still meet, y'all. Again, they not meeting to talk about repairing the wrongs that was done before. They meeting about continuing on exploiting. European Union, it's 22 countries in the European Union. European Union finances ECOWAS and they finance African Union. Think about that. A white group financing African Union and West African country. Whoever finance you, that's who controls it. Y'all see the years they start. IOM, International Organization on Migration, it says on their website, 1951 for whites, well, they say European. So the whole purpose of them was to help Europeans get to America, migration. And they changed their name later and said all people, but it still stayed with them. All right, United Nations, 1945. So those top ones that listed there, y'all, those are the ones that's hurting us the most. Any thoughts on that? Like, what do y'all think about those top 10 or so? It impacts us right here in Chicago. Like, I can point out to you, like, when you talk about IMF and World Bank, they give loans. Start your business. You want to start a garden. You want to feed your people. So the family members of them, and we're recording here, but there's a college right up the street from here that is the head of most of these. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The university that is the king. All right. And so their CEOs, they're all connected. And they know we got to have an iron curtain of no remorse. No one can give in and say anything about reparations. That's a bad word. Because if you do one, all of them go one. That's why they can't, don't let nobody get reparations, because then everybody will say, what about me? So they got to stay tight-lipped on that. The next group is Black. They mixed in. The Arab League is the one I want to point out. So the Arab League and European Union both have enslaved us. So to me, we got to watch the Arab League. They doing a little bit better trying to fight, but they got to say something about Egypt because they controlling Egypt now. You know what I mean? Like, the statue's nose was shot off not because they was Arab. Like, come on, we know who should really be controlling Egypt. And now what they're doing, because oil is going down, they are moving into entertainment. So they want to have all the boxing matches, all the wrestling, they fancy hotels, you name it. They building the Arab nations up with oil money. And to me, we got to be mindful. Why would we support an unrepentant group? Like, if we go in there, you see a lot of our Black people going there and they celebrating in Dubai and all these places. Like they owe an explanation on why, even with Muammar Gaddafi, why you was enslaving and killing the Blacks in North Africa. Why, you know what I mean, that right now in Egypt, y'all are, got scientists and all this his stuff studying if it was y'all. You know it wasn't y'all. Like, that's a disrespect to us as a people. So the Arab League got some answering to do. The African Union is not us. It's financed by Europe. ECOWAS is the west part of Africa that France controls since 1975. BRICS is a good thing, y'all. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That is key for us to see BRICS grow. And the Sahel Alliance is the best because that's Nigeria, Mali, and Burkina Faso. And they kicked France out. They said, you're not exploiting us no more. So those two, BRICS and Sahel Alliance, is our example on what it looks like for us to do for self. What y'all think about that? Hey, y'all see the years they opened up. Then the last one, that's what we dealing with firsthand. This is where the fire burning us at. The government, corporations, the shareholders, because the shareholders, we let them off the hook. The shareholders of all these companies on it, we let them off the hook.
They got a voice, yeah, and influence.
And one thing, the shareholders are in every one of our communities. They're in the Home Depot, they're in the Lowe's, they're at any major Walmart.
Yeah.
They
And
own
private
they own all the businesses that support all of they sales to us and they don't give us nothing. Now, they don't make us shareholders if you go in the third party market and get a few dollars. And you get a few. But we should look at that model and say we need to be shareholders of our own.
And they own the private prisons too. So just
Yeah.
know the shareholder. And when you hear, and I hate to say it, but the shareholders are getting duped too. They might own 1,000 shares, but the CEO, he owns 1 million shares.
Yeah.
So you might get a $2 dividend, but that's $2 million to the million shares he owned, and you got 1,000, so you made $2,000. He made $2 million. So even them, they at the real low level, but they still want to see more prisons built so they can keep making more money.
Well, most of the shareholders are major companies that you go down.
Big time,
All of your banks, your
big
BlackRock,
time.
mostly all companies are in the, is it called agris system?
Mhm.
And they all owned by banks.
Right.
Because them the only ones that can support keeping that job open.
So is it true from what I heard that like even like Jeff Bezos of Amazon, he's paid in stock? So he doesn't get any
The tax
income.
dividends, yeah, right.
He doesn't earn any income. He's just paid in stocks, so he's not taxed on that.
All of them do that. That's a strat. If Mike was here, Mike crazy, that's how they play it. Yeah, that's what yeah, you live off the plus. Yeah.
But see, this, in my opinion, that's what we have to understand. We think we're fighting against racism and all. We're fighting against capitalism.
Yeah. No, it's great that they don't have the capital without robbing Africa.
Right.
So
But
that
the
is
system that finances racism is capitalism. Because capitalism came into existence with the transatlantic slave trade.
that's what I'm saying.
There was no economic system called capitalism before.
But that's why we shouldn't let them off the hook. It's race. It's the fact that we will take from these poor people they minerals and capitalize on it and they labor. So we letting them off the hook and we say, nah, it's race-based. Race-based capitalism. If we stick to it, but it is based on your skin color, we go get rich off it. Yeah. All right, then the last part, y'all see black entertainers. Hollywood started in 1903, y'all. And it started with the people from New York wanting to get away from them so they can't be monitored and they do their own thing. 1903. And Hollywood controls the black narrative. They put our image out there all around the world. And so that's a danger to us because we don't control our narrative. If they want to make you look bad, they put the camera in front of your brother who don't have no teeth and he can't speak well for the family. And they say, look, this is the Johnsons. But they could have got you the articulate one that looked good, but they put the camera on the one of your brother who looked bad to make your whole family look bad. That's what this media does for us. They want to make sure they keep showing us in bad light. Right now, Ivory Coast has just had a coup d'etat. They just took over the government and none of the white media is talking about it because they're not in control. When they pay the people to do a coup d'etat, then they put it on TV. Look, they got chaos. We got to go save them. But they ain't said nothing. That happened 3 days ago. And they're still not talking about it, but it's coming. It doesn't matter when. Ivory Coast, yeah. Because he was letting them set up drone bases, and you know they're trying to kill Ibrahim Traore. So that was like, that was a sellout, and the people didn't know. So
It was like the 19th of
22, more than anyone ever. Yeah, no one ever. All right, yeah, 17 minutes. So next one is color copy, you guys. We talked about it already, but RBS is the residents supporting spending money with the black businesses. And the businesses put money into the grade that they're assigned to. So if you're a plumber and plumbers got 12th grade, if you're a plumber on Tuesday Education Day, Dr. Philip Jackson's Day, a plumber should be thinking about the 12th grade. Because from an education standpoint, they out of school, so they don't care about education, but you're assigned to 12th grade. If you're a nail tech's got 6th graders on Tuesday, they should be thinking about how can I help a 6th grade. If you're a landscaper, the charge here landscaping, on Tuesday, Education Day, you think about how you can support a 4th grader. So that's the key with the RBS. And think about that, y'all. Residents, businesses, students, residents. Look at that cycle. Look who's benefiting. Education benefiting, economics benefiting, and the residents benefiting. This cycle going around. By doing that, now you see youth funding there. Kindergarten through 3rd graders, y'all see the dollar amounts next to them? Y'all see the dollar amounts next to them?
$200.
Right. So travel, that's why you saw this with all the cities on there. And y'all shoot holes through this argument if y'all don't agree. To me, travel is the missing element for black people worldwide.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I got cousins, they never been across the state line of Hammond, Indiana, Gary, Indiana.
It affects the way they think, right?
Their whole life, yes.
It affects you limited.
Yeah. They don't even want to come to the South Side. 2025.
So we do this now. We used to take the teenagers to different cities, but these dollar amounts there, the biggest thing with this is any person can do more than that. That's what we're saying corporately. So if Darrell want to do $100 instead of 50, we ain't gonna complain about it. You bless that child. So just know these are minimum standards, but you can always blow that out the window. But what this does do, if you're a parent of a 12th grader and you know 12th graders got $1,000 coming from the community, you say, well, who got 12th graders? Plumbers got 12th graders, marketers, salespeople got 12th graders, massage therapists got 12th graders. So between them, hey y'all, we need to get that G over there and they graduate, we want to celebrate them. And imagine every zip code doing that. So that's where this structure comes in, that to ensure that K through 12th grade can get out and travel. If you're a non-for-profit and you got 4 12th graders, that's $4,000. You know what I mean? So this will allow us to get non-for-profits funding with our own people putting the money into them because the businesses are honoring whatever grade they link to. Y'all have that document there with the businesses getting money. Y'all have that. Mariah gave y'all that separately. That's the same document. That's just it in color. And remember, 1,000 people send you $5 is why you see up to $5,000 for the business. Right? And the businesses, they get that money so they can put that money into the youth so the youth can travel. The next one, this non-for-profit funding, Anthony Collins. I don't know if you called him yet, Darrell. You called Anthony yet in your zip code?
No, I have not got Anthony's number.
So Anthony, he's a low voltage electrician. So he was trying to open up on 111th and Wentworth, is it? So he was opening up, he got the building. So we said he needed $10,000. So $10,000 to us is 5 people in every zip code doing $100.
Which building, the commercial?
That
Right,
old
right there.
clinics. Yeah, he got it. So he owns it, but it was a matter of him finishing the repairs. So what we did, we said, let's get 5 churches in every zip code to put up 100 so he can open up. And we launched that campaign. We mailed out to 5 churches in all 20 zip codes. That was about $70 in print and postage, and no church did it. No church did it. It is what it is. The structure was there, the system was there. They just didn't execute. But the point is, $10,000 is what we want to be able to help our non-for-profits get.
I gotta add on to that now.
Oh,
There's a caveat. They didn't do it, but they didn't get an offer that they couldn't refuse. So
you saying
sometimes,
why they didn't?
right, like,
What do you mean?
so the fortune is in the follow up and the follow through.
Big time.
So now we sent the letter because you have the expectation based on who they are that they will be in the giving spirit to something that's of value, right?
Nah, he was actually gonna pay back with interest, so it wasn't.
So it's even a loan, just asking basically for a loan. But what I'm learning is that these are businesses.
No, these are churches.
I know, but they are businesses.
Non-for-profit though. They ain't
I
paying
know, but
taxes.
they are businesses.
Businesses pay taxes. They don't pay taxes, so.
I know, but they operate like they are businesses. They don't operate like they're nonprofits. So that's the challenge is now to follow. See, the fortune is in the follow up and the follow through. So you reached out, there was no follow up from them in a sense.
From them, right.
But now we have to follow through.
No, we did.
With ensuring that we get. So remember, it's the offer that they cannot refuse. So what offer can we give to churches who are reluctant to give to something of value?
That sounds good.
It's an offer, it's a demand in the form of an offer. Okay?
Finish the point. I'm gonna give you
Because
insight on it.
the churches would be doing what they should be doing based on the standard that they represent if we held them accountable on a regular basis. The only reason they've gotten away from doing what they're supposed to be doing is because no one is holding them accountable. The first thing is, who is your standard bearer as a church? They're going to say Jesus, right? So now you have an example. You have something to gauge them with. There's nothing like that based on what's going on out here. So the number one thing is what? Feed the hungry, clothe the naked, set the captive free. Hold them to those 3 right there. So now in feeding the hungry, basically you have to put pressure on them. So now you have to say, okay, we're going to come to your church service. All right. And now we come and go to church with them. Now it's harder to say no because now you know exactly who we are. We put a face to this name or whatever. Now we've got to build a relationship because you're in this community to build relationships with the community.
That's the-
We're reaching out to you, you're saying no. So we hold them accountable to the standard that they
No,
set
they
for
didn't say no,
themselves.
though. They didn't say no.
Yes.
Here's the bigger problem. You said what it is, build a relationship. We had 12 letters come back out of the 100. Because they closed down and posted people sent it back. So out of the 88 left. I would say 60 of them phones was like, no, you call, you can't even leave a message. Either it's full or don't leave a message. We only talked to about 10 pastors out of the 100 that we mailed. And those 10, some was too sick and elderly, come to Sunday service. We ain't doing all that. So we put the effort that, but that's why the local lead, whoever, like that case, it would have been on Charles to go to them 10 churches in his zip code and go to Sunday service. The point is, you're right. We got to establish the relationship. That takes time. And unfortunately, when you send a letter, some of them don't even open the letter. You know what I mean? That type of thing. But that's where the governors, it's too much for y'all to do too, as governors, to go to 10 churches Sunday service. And then when you go to Sunday service, they don't even have electronic ways to get money. Now you got to manually wait till them go to the ATM, get it. It's a lot to that. And that's a time consumer, but we got to eventually get to that point. But you're right. But in this case here, we're raising this $10,000. It wasn't feasible because of, number one, elders running this church, secretary burnt out, shut down, they moved. No one said no. That's the easy way. Not one of them said no. We just didn't get the answer.
Final piece on that. So I think in the future, you go directly to those that you know got the money, got the numbers. So if it's John Hanna, if it's Reverend Meeks, if it's, so let's say we're only going to focus on those that got 500 members in their congregation or higher. That's the first. So like myself, I got connections, family connections with right here on 55th in Indiana. Barrett. Okay. Because my niece is married to his grandson. Right. So we go through the first connections. There's certain people got connections with John through members of John Hanna's congregation. I'm connected with folks at Apostolic and former Bishop Braziers. See, so we go to them first because they got more than enough that they're working with.
Right.
And
so just so even with that, that's our first step with everything. Who you know. And I'm gonna tell you, this might sadden your heart to hear this, but some of us got bad relationships with the very people we know have capacity. Whether it's a family member, pastor, whoever, nah, he ain't loaned me my baby shot, so I ain't going back to him. Or, so what we got to do, and you're right, but just know this, predictability, y'all see it at the bottom. We have to create predictability. Every first Sunday, Joe is on duty. That's predictability. So if you want something from Joe, you call him any day of the week, but the first Saturday, he available. And that's what we got to get our churches. We got to get everyone with some predictability so it's easier to engage because you're expecting it. You get what I'm saying? The teachers every second Saturday. So I'm busy. Where's your day? You knew it was coming. You had 30 days to get ready for it. Like, come on. By building this predictability, it's going to make that easier. Because now if we got in your zip code, 60628, third Wednesday, church is on duty, you ready. What's up? What's going on? Good. I'm glad you asked. We need 5 of y'all to do 100 hours. You get what I'm saying? So we got to build that.
Gentle reminders that you give me because you always come across.
Well, you're a governor, so I got to do that. But I don't do it for everybody. But I couldn't do it. But the point here is everything has time attached to it, so that we can kind of have an expectation. And this was a perfect example, that exercise, because deep down I knew we weren't going to do it because I know people ain't answering their phones like that. I'm busy, I'm running. That's why we gave you this date. So hopefully you can do that. We got 5 minutes, so let me just flip to the last page here, and y'all keep these so it shows colors. So this is gonna be real controversial, but let's argue. We got 5 minutes to argue this. When people use the word "we need to come together," I think we setting ourselves up for failure because you never bring ammonia and bleach together. You do that, you'll blind yourself. You might even suffocate yourself. They do not go together chemical-wise. Right?
Unless you're in a MacGyver situation and you're trying to
do it. You wanna blow it up? But no, let me present it. So the blue represents what we should not be, putting pressure on our people to do. Let's look at what happens if we individually be accountable to the process. So Africa, what happens if we individually donate our pennies to Africa? We got about 6 African countries here right now. So if 60628 individually get their pennies to Africa, it's going to South Africa. If Stephen get his pennies, it's going to Botswana. So individually, look at what that does to Africa. They benefit from it. And y'all didn't come together. You just did your part, right? Individually donate $1 to us. We got 6,000 people in our vault right now, 6,000 people. What happens if the individual just did the dollar? 6,000. That's huge. That's 72,000 a year. We ain't never had that. 30 years. So just imagine, individual. We ain't got to come together. No. Individual, just do it. What happens if individually we name our 4? Individually. My wife can't use my folks. She got to name her own folk. That's 4 extra businesses getting some support because she got to name her own individual 4. What happens if we individually send $5 to the 4 if we can't name? Look at the impact. 1,000 people doing that individually. That's all not coming together. That's individually, but look at what it's doing. It's helping Black businesses. When they get their help, now they more apt to send money to the students. All right. If we waiting on the meeting, now we, and then people don't come to the meeting. Now wait till the next meeting. Now we wasting time. Individually, what happens if we individually as a plumber support that 12th grade? That 12th grade parent go have more respect for you. Like, man, they said that and they did that. Individually, they ain't coming together. Y'all see a 5th grader, 4th grader, individually. What happens if we individually volunteer once every 180 days? That's twice a year. What happens if individually we call our grandparents on Friday? That's Friday, Senior Citizen Day. Individually, let's come together. Nah, man, you call your grandmama. Why we gotta come together to call your grandma? Why would you do that individually? Individually, check your smoke alarm on Monday safety day. Why we gotta come together and check your smoke alarm? Come on, man. Check your smoke alarm, man. Like,
We are all together if we're doing it.
I don't mind that part, but it's the fact that we really be wanting to be all together. Like, come on, y'all, let's have a meet. No, we ain't got to meet, man. Can you do this? Like, can you do
So I think what I'm hearing, what I hear that's so important is that for us who believe in this, we still got to make it real. So it's the concept is either developing an app or having one of the social networking sites where all of us are connected.
I knew you'd go fight for it.
Into oneness, because it's so much that's going on a daily basis that we got to be connected with something that's giving us notifications saying today is Safe Day. Now everybody that's on the site post their picture saying, I checked my smoke alarm today.
No arguments. No arguments, Steve. I got no arguments. I'm with y'all on that.
I think what we hit here just starting out, we coming out the gate with this, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be
she giving me we gotta get out of here in 2 minutes.
What we trying to do, you know what we trying to do is make it flow for we just automatically do.
Y'all
ain't
start
that.
cleaning up?
That's what we say.
Hey, so one thing you can do on your phone, set yourself some reminders.
Yeah.
Individually, there you go.
Yeah.
Look, you took
There you go.
Individual.
if you ask me what's the biggest thing we could do is remember.
And remind.
Oh, Ray,
Remember and remind.
That's it.
Ray,
On the social media, because it's so different from like Kickstarter.
Mm.
So if you have a business, just like what you were doing, and it did have been posted on Kickstarter, and then what the benefits were for making that donation,
long
you can see that a little stuff.
Right.
So I definitely agree that.
technology,
Right, we need to go into technology.
big time. Nah, no argument there. I said no argument. They right on that. Right.
I started WhatsApp called Global Exchange Surplus. So anybody can start them a WhatsApp or a Telegram and start going out with that.
And I don't-
It's just so don't worry about. I do it individually. Start
See what I'm
so
saying?
Okay.
and I put sign on there
Right.
and I put a few.
Nah,